Hello world of iOS developers. So I'm back and we have already had a stream in the morning today where we made progress on our focus time and we're making work in iOS better. And we are continuing on that journey. So we still have some iOS stuff that doesn't really work right, and let's tackle them one by one here in this stream. So let's see how that's going. Let me open the project again. How's everybody been? Did you also have some lunch or something? Okay, so let's run this on iOS, just to see what it looks like. Here we go. Okay, so we have mentioned here, move tab bar up and use segment control instead, and showing, okay, there's no screenshot actually here, but I think there was one. I think it was about this here. So this is the tab bar, and here's another tab bar. Of course, this doesn't work. An idea is to use segmented control, but then we will have segmented control and again segmented control, and that's also not that great. So you might want to use something else. And it says navigation view maybe. General and categories. I could use just simply different sections. But maybe that's not the best idea too. But we could use disclosure groups. Let me see. I think it was called disclosure group, yeah. Something like that. Then we could open like general settings, categories. Let's see what that will look like. Something like that. Can I provide any kind of content? I think so. And I can simply use a label and the content. Okay, let's try doing that. And on macOS, of course, we're going to keep the style that we had before. So here, if I run the macOS app, that actually I think works quite nicely. Okay, let's open the settings. And yeah, this works pretty well actually, because we don't have already a tab bar. Yeah, I think that's an exception. So we might want to provide something specific for iOS there. And we are talking about settings view, and in the settings view, actually get the preview here. I want to keep them like this, although it will look different, of course, in the real settings. The SwiftUI preview for some reason looks different. And this is what it's looking like on iOS, and this is exactly what we don't want. So instead of a tab view, we want to use something else for iOS. So if we are on macOS, then do it that way. Else, do it differently. And I'm going to actually, I think, extract these subviews to different places. So we have one is general, which is not implemented basically, but this is like the general view. Let's just extract this into its function. Func general view. And we're going to have one also, which I will call categories view. And actually, I think we just need this part here. Maybe we don't even need to do to extract these, because basically this is not implemented yet, but when it will look something like this, and this is already basically everything extracted into its own view. So I think this part we can duplicate the code. It doesn't really hurt that much. So I'm going to just move this up into the macOS part. And then for iOS, we're going to instead use this closure groups, and I think we might actually use multiple of them. So I'll just say vstack this closure group, I'll just use the content label variant. So we have the content and label, and the label I will just provide guess settings. Oh wait. Oh no, let's use it. The settings state dot general dot design. This is not general though. Ah, this is general. Display name, and the system symbol is settings state dot tab. Oh, we forgot the tab here. Settings state dot tab dot general dot system symbol, and inside of it, basically we will just have this. We are at the general thing first, and then we'll just copy this and provide the same for categories. That should be about it. Let's see what this looks like in a preview. And we can see that there is something going on here. Let me run this on the real app. See what it looks like. I think we're going to need some padding for sure. So let me already add that padding. Rerun. Okay, so we are here now, and we can click and it opens this and it opens that. It doesn't look great yet, but I kind of have the feeling that this is not the wrongest approach. It kind of works. It just could use some improvements. So first I want to make this all go all the way up. So I'm going to add a spacer here. So now they should, if I render this, they should go up now to the top of the screen. And next I want this to have some like top and bottom padding, or some, I don't know, somehow I want to communicate to the user that this stuff here belongs to this, and somehow currently I don't think it's doing that right now. So maybe we just need to add some extra spacing or something like that, or just a background color or something like that. Maybe background color to this. Yeah, let's try that. Let's give it background color to the disclosure group. Background. Let's just play with yellow just to see what it looks like. So it's, yeah, I need some padding around that. So let's add padding first. And then the padding should be on the disclosure group level. Not that bad, but I think we want to have the padding. I think the horizontal padding is fine by the default one, but the vertical one is a bit too much. Yeah, that kind of looks better. Let's try 10. Yeah, I like this. Okay. Okay, I want to go with 8 actually. No, let's keep with 10. This is looking better. And let's apply the same at the top here. So let's change the color. So we're going to use the accent color, but opacity set to 0.1, just 10%. Let's refresh the preview. Okay, it says it doesn't work because no member accent color. Let's make it explicit. Now we're talking about colors and accent color. Doesn't build, but it doesn't say why. Okay, not too useful. What if I just say accent color without any opacity? Does that work? Yeah, it does build. Oh, here it builds, but the top one doesn't. Now that builds too. Okay, this kind of looks better. Maybe we should make it even less than that. Let's just try 5%. Maybe not enough. Let's go with 8%. 7%, 7.5%. Yeah, this kind of works for me. And let's just test out what this runs like. Let me actually try to build this. The previews never probably work. Convert value to our... Nope, I think I have a typo here. Let me run this again. Oh, this gets the background too. That's very interesting. Okay. Wow. I didn't expect that. I thought it's just going to be this part. But then this is also a great way to group this. But maybe I want to group it differently now. Maybe I just want to add like a background corner or something like that. Let's go with background again, and let's use a shape now. I'm going to go with rectangle, rounded rectangle maybe. and I want to just make the borders secondary. What to? Okay, this is just the borders. How can I have a background just for the borders? SwiftUI. What shapes do we have here? Do I get just the outside of this shape? Maybe I just have to change the color. So maybe we can keep this, but just say like foreground color is clear. Yes, no, I just have the border. Make this a bit more readable. Okay, so we have foreground color set to clear, border. Can I set border color? Border content. Maybe we can add border right away. Border, and then I just say rounded rectangle, corner radius 10. What does this look like? Okay, maybe it does not accept. Let me Google that quickly, maybe we'll find it faster. So SwiftUI add rounded rectangle borders. Corner radius border. So they are seeing round rectangle, corner radius, and then clip shape overlay. And then they overlay round rectangle stroke border. So first there's something called stroke border, which might do what we want, but it's not defined on this shape. Instead we could go for border round rectangle. Okay, let's go for this background thing. And just say stroke border here. There you go. That's fading, but why? Okay, round rectangle. Does that work? Okay. Let's stop the editor from showing selection. Okay, so this works. Kind of cool, actually. Will it scale up with when I open this? Yes. Okay, let's add some padding there. We do have some at the top because there's some space between these, but there's none to the outside. So I will add a padding which is horizontal of 5. What about 10? How does that feel? Let me check. Definitely too much color there. Let's try with just 10% of that. Yeah, this gives like a feeling of, I think that works. Maybe even more. Let's rerun this. Oh, kind of like it. Kind of like it. And still some padding for the content is required, but not horizontally, just vertically. But I can do that in the content itself. I do like this. And also the rounding is fine. I think 10 is just fine. I could go with 12, 15, 25, 20. Just playing around a bit. See how different looks are created there. Actually, I like to have a bit less. Let's stick with 8. So that's a lot of padding, background stuff going on here, but I think it looks good in the end. And we might actually want to extract this if we are going to reuse it more often. And we might add here more settings, so we should maybe actually extract it. So I'm just going to, and we can see we're always using the settings tab, so maybe we can refactor this out, this whole thing. And I'll try to do this. So we're going to say func, and this is a settings, setting tab, disclosure group. So disclosure group, everything like this is the content, so I need to provide content, and content is of type view, some view. It's returning some view. Does this not work? Just view. There we go, and then this is the content. I need to render that into here. And this is the label. And for a label, I also need to provide the exact tab. Settings tab, disclosure group. Settings, disclosure group, tab. This is going to be settings state.tab. This way we can just say tab. And everything else I think looks fine, so we should be able to use this now. Let me see if it builds. No, it doesn't. Yes, let's remove that. And this says cannot use this instance. Oh yeah. Even simpler. There we go. Now we can just say, instead of that, we can just say self.disclosure group, settings disclosure group, provide the settings, which is general in our case, and the content view, which I think we should do as a closure, so we can pass it more easily. So this is it. So we're going to say this is going to return a content. That way, oops. And we have to call the function here. That way, when I just type this again, self.settings group, we can say .general and then enter and just pass this up. Move this up. There we go. No longer need it to do all this stuff. And same here. Just copy that. In this case, it's categories and nothing else needed down here too. Easy as that. Let's see if it builds. No, it doesn't. Not escaping. Okay, just wait a sec. So how's this defined? Because I want to pass the same thing. And this is getting and escaping. Yeah, it's actually escaping. Yeah, it's a view builder. So maybe we should just use the exact same thing here. Well, let's make this, clean this up a bit. There we go, now it should build, and the preview should also work again. Seems to work. Opens up as expected and it's working. Maybe for the content I do want to just provide extra padding on this level. Where's the function? Here we go. Maybe I just want to call padding vertical and just add extra 10 padding. So I want to have some extra padding there for every subview. Oh, not on macOS. Let's go iOS. That's much better. Maybe we should even increase it. We could even increase this a bit. 15 is too much. 12, 10. That actually works. Cool. Now we can switch around and everything always updates automatically. Oh, this we need to work on, but this is working. And delete is working. Create new category is working. Switching is working. I can open close. There's something wrong with this animation. It's fine though. Nice. So we have improved vastly the whole view, and this code actually is only needed on iOS, so maybe we should only compile it on iOS too. If OS is iOS. Actually, I think we did say not macOS. Can we use not here? Like this? Try. It says build failed. No, it succeeds. Does this also succeed? macOS works. Let's try again. iOS works too. Nice. Now let's commit. And the issue we want to fix was move tab bar up and segment control instead, or navigation view. Okay, fix duplicate tab view in one screen by using disclosure groups. There we go. And a small fix there. Cement this. This is completed now as well. Next up, fix sizing of contents and category settings. I think I've just done that too. So this is basically fixed because now the enclosing view just has different requirements in it. It's just fixed. SwiftUI does all the magic for us there. Next thing we want to work on is making the edit and trash icons larger so we can tap them easily with the fingers. And that's a good point. Let's actually run the app here. It's a bit too much up, I think. Maybe it should actually stay in the middle. What if I do that? Let me remove the spacer here. Let's see how that feels. Yeah, that's fine to me. It's easier to click things that are in the middle of the screen than at the top. So I'm just going to remove that spacer. Nice. One problem is this might scroll down. What if you have like many entries here? Let me just save that. Save that. Okay, we're seeing another problem here, and that's that the content is getting on top of the tab bar. And our view here isn't scrollable, so we can close this, but I can't really look at this. This is not what it should be like. So let's make it a scroll view. Let's embed it in a scroll view. And I think it might be useful for here as well. No, not really, but for here. So instead of a VStack, I'll just say scroll view. What will that look like? Yeah, both issues fixed. So first the tab bar is now showing properly and we can scroll. But now the content is all at the top. So a scroll view is like always adding a spacer for us. How can we fix that? I don't really know. But we could default these to be open and we just make them closable so users can scroll. Yeah, I'll just make them open by default. How can I do that? So I have a disclosure group created here. So disclosure group, let's see what methods we have. Is expanded. We can provide one that is, as I just set to true. You know what? Let's just do that. So we're going to go with this. We could actually create an in-place binding because we don't really need to know if it's expanded or not. We don't really care, at least not for now. So as we have the label first here, is there also an overload where I can keep content label? Content label is expanded. Okay, it starts with is expanded. So we say is expanded. Now we need to provide a binding. And I think if I provide a constant binding, the user won't be able to change it, right? Let me try that out. It shouldn't close then anymore. Okay, hex code hanging. What's going on? Come on. No responding. Going to ignore it. Just going to restart next code. Actually, this fits line to line. Let me rerun the app. They are open now and they are not closing as I was expecting because this is a binding that can't be changed. But I will just create a new binding here. And I will just say that in the getter, it's not easy. Okay, I will actually create a local state. So we will have one for each tab. Actually, we could store it in the tab. Is that a good idea? Like creating a binding here, but those are cases. Yeah, this is an enum. Okay, let's just go one way. So general and categories. So we say if not OS, Mac OS, then we're going to store state general group expanded, and this is actually, can I say a binding here? O equals true, and the same with general group, categories group expanded is true as well. And then we just use that here. Self dot general group is expanded, although we have to provide which one. Tab, and then is expanded binding of type boolean is expanded, and then we have to provide them here. Is expanded self dot general group is expanded self dot categories group. Let's see if that builds. No, it doesn't, because there's no add binding. Let's just go with add state. I think we can get the binding like this too. Yeah. Okay, let's update the preview. Yeah, I talked about it in my previous stream, in the morning stream. The pollen season is really bad this year, or this time around, and therefore my nose is running. But it's not that bad. Oh, why is that working? Okay. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. In the wrong module. The scheme, I mean. There we go, so they are expanded by default. It's exactly what we wanted, so let's see what the app looks like now. We go to settings, they are expanded, and we can unexpand them basically. Hello, Aflux, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Did you stream today as well? So we're working on our app here, and I have been focusing on the macOS variant until now, and now we're trying to make it work for iOS as well, and some navigation stuff, etc. is kind of different on iOS. I'm good, glad to catch you streaming. Yeah, glad that you catch me streaming as well. So we have been improving these things a bit, and this works now with scrolling too. Just getting started, probably streaming a bit later. Great, if you're streaming when I'm ending, then I can raid you. How's the app going? It's actually making progress. What's that? Oh, did I? Okay, that's interesting. How's the app going? As I said, we're currently focusing on the iOS app to make it work on iOS again, because it was like iOS and macOS app from the start. But then I ditched the iOS part because I wanted to focus on the multiple window thing with on macOS, and that we got working. And now we're focusing on making it work on iOS again. We just fixed this view as well. So let's actually commit that. That's really doing great. How's your week so far? How are you doing? By the way, the reason why I don't store these into the state object that I have is because I consider these not part of my business state, because I don't want to change this manually. This is for me just something that is part of the UI where the user can just toggle them as they like. And on a fresh start, it will always be open again. I don't want to store it also. It's looking good. Thanks, man. I still didn't make any iteration on making the app look beautiful yet. I'm just trying to make it work. So that's just my only focus is make it work. And then I'm going to have some iterations on making the UI look more nice. And then I think it's also going to be a nice app, actually. Week has been all right. I finished a major overhaul for my app. Had to rebuild the iCloud Sync feature. Oh no, that sounds like hard work. So iCloud Sync is always, yeah, it's not fun, I'm sure. And I think though, now that you have finished, you're probably going to be quite happy if it works nicely now. Of course, but that's been tough. I also refactored like the app that I'm working on. Really, I refactored quite a bit. I refactored the whole error handling. I switched from throwing functions to results based functions, because then I can provide the exact error type. And I switched also, or currently I'm still in the process of switching all my, basically I'm searching for files in my app that I'm working, and all that code I wrote in Combine because I thought the Composable Architecture works really nicely with Combine, and it does. But then I had a lot of extra code that I really don't want to maintain, and it was also like bug prone. So I'm switching to async await now, and it's been great so far. Only 3 weeks of coding. What do you mean by that? I don't quite get that. And that's an interesting emoji or icon there. You have like the Finder being really mad. That really looks awesome. Cool, but let me commit this quickly. So make settings look nice for scrolling, plus expand groups by default. It took that long to rebuild my sync feature. Oh no, 3 weeks, that's quite long. Yeah, but that's how it goes with complex features like this. And again, I'm sure that you're probably pretty happy now that you've completed that work. It had to be done, right? Redundant type annotation, settings view. Oh yeah, because when you set something to true or false, SwiftLint, I think it is, considers that redundant. So let's fix that. And switch tabs, so this recognizes the changes. And now we should be able to commit. There we go. Async await is definitely cool to use. Absolutely, it is cool to use, but I've just started. And there are a few things that are still not sure how it works, also relate to error handling and task cancellation. If I understood task cancellation correctly, I can just call task.isCancelled and I can call from anywhere cancel. If that really works as I expect it to work, that's really amazing, but I'm not sure yet, and I'm kind of pessimistic because that's like a lot of magic, and I'm looking forward to testing that out, and I'll be definitely writing about it if there is any issues I ran into. Yeah, it's pretty much good to go. Send out a new beta for testing and seeing what comes up. Glad to move back to UI work though. I think it's good to switch back and forth between UI and other things. But yeah, but you also need to check for task is cancelled in your own code. Yeah, sure. I'm totally fine with that. The thing is, I had a lot of code where I had like an is cancelled written by myself in the combine. Then I had a reset method where I made sure that the is cancelled is set back to false and things like that. Then I had a lot of code, and just having to check for task.isCancelled makes me like delete 20 lines for each of my tasks that I had written before. And so if that's really how it works, then I'm really happy, and I have no problem with checking for task.isCancelled. That as I said, I'm doing that anyways. But we're getting into break now, so I'll be back shortly. Yeah, just as a reminder for everybody, a break means getting some fresh air and stretching. So if you were watching, you should do that maybe now as well. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so we're back and let's continue. We had just improved that view, but we had not tackled this. Still, what we changed is worth noting. So let's document it like this. Okay, next up, I make edit trash icons larger. So they are quite small, and that is true. So even here they are kind of small, and we could make them larger in some way. I'm thinking about actually writing edit and delete here. Let's try that out. Although, we could maybe also rework how this entire thing works. So if we press this, we could go into a detail view and make it editable right away and just add a delete button there. That's like one way to approach this. And also the entries themselves, they could be a little bit larger on iOS. So I will first make them a little bit larger, and that's the just a sec. Okay. So yeah, just adding some height there means we need to go into the category, category group view, category view, category settings edit. Okay, yeah, I think this is the right one. No, this is not the right one. We are instead talking about settings tab. Okay, wait. This view, of course. Settings, categories, view, and here, oops. We have this H stack and we say frame height 17. And this should be different per platform, I think. For macOS, it kind of works, I guess. Maybe we should not provide any frame height. What happens then? Oh no, okay, we do need to provide something. But maybe that's a layout issue, maybe we should fix that. So we should maybe just limit this view to a height of 17. Let's try that. So we have this thing and we just set the width and height on both of them, I guess, to 17. Then maybe we can turn it off. What happens then? Yeah, this works much better. So it still looks kind of fine here, but it looks like I'm getting more. If I add this back, yeah, that's, I guess, a native height, which is fine. So we're going to go with a native height. And in here, we need to change the buttons thing. I think on macOS it does make sense to have small kind of buttons that you can quickly click. On iOS, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe we should make this a swipe action. I guess with the delete should be a swipe action. And the edit should probably be just clicking on the item. Yeah, I'll try to do it that way. So we're going to have this only on macOS. If OS, macOS. And that too. Although we might want to use the confirmation dialog. Well, let's move it out first. So we're going to not show this on iOS. Instead, we're going to let's do an else here. Let's also indent everything. Instead, we make this whole thing clickable, so this whole thing is a button. For each, and then H stack. So on macOS, we're going to have this. Oh, let's do it that way. Everything inside of here is basically the contents. Let's extract this out. Func, this is the category view, basically. Category entry. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, back. So I wanted to just put everything in a group. So we have a clear return type. And then just call into it where we need it. So this is the H stack is the wait. Isn't the H stack part of that? We need to extract. I think so. It's actually extracted using Xcode's feature. Extract a method, because then it recognizes the category dependency. And we're just going to call it category entry view. Make this more explicit. Okay. Now this we need here for macOS directly. And on iOS we're going to put it into a button, and the button will navigate to a navigation view. So basically we want to create a navigation link. And that also means we need to wrap this into a navigation view for iOS, which is currently not the case. That's a problem. Well, actually, let's try a button. I think we have it implemented as a sheet anyways. So I'm just going to say button. Let me add the button. Okay, let me just say button, action and label. The action is going to be, oh, we're missing the view store here, so let's add it with view store. Mm-hmm. Okay, now the button. I want the button to basically work like the edit button. And the label, and that's the interesting part, the label is now going to be our content view, like this. Not compiling, because it must be declared public. Now on macOS it's still showing as before. On iOS it's not working. Now it's working, and you can see it's a button now. The whole thing is a button. It does get the color of buttons, which is not that bad. And then if I click one, I get the detail view. And now, so we still, we do have the edit. I do want to have a delete action here. We're going to add that later, but we also just want to provide a swipe action. So let's see how to do that. Just going to open SwiftUI app and let's see if there is something called swipe action, and there is. Simple as that. So this only works for rows in a list, is that true? Let me try. So we want to say if we're here, we want to have on the button swipe actions. Yeah, this is not available here. Define on view, I don't know in this context. Seriously. Edge is trailing. Allows full swipe true. Content. Button. Just a button. Okay. It's just a collection of buttons with a tint. So we can now provide the delete button here basically. So we do have a delete button down here with a confirmation dialog. Let's just bring it over there. Let's add a tint. And this could compile. Let's see what happens. Let's make it this tint. Tint red. This kind of compiles. No, it does not have a swipe action. In that case, we're going to try using a list here actually. And I wonder if I can just say list instead of for each. Okay, let's just wrap it into a list instead of a vstack. That works. Not really. Doesn't work as expected. Ooh, what helper app is that? No mind, I found it. What app do you mean? Ah, you mean the SwiftUI, a companion for SwiftUI. That's like basically an app. It's not free by far. It's I think $50 or something, but it's a good set of documentation for SwiftUI with examples. And I find that saves so much time that it's just worth it. But yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, UI-wise, it could be improved, but content-wise, it's pretty good. Still lacking some examples sometimes, but if the question is, does it save time? And the answer is yes, it does, definitely. So we're using a list. I wanted to know if there is. Okay, let's actually use this app to get like list examples. List of elements with rows. They're using just this directly, and actually for each should be fine. Maybe the scroll view is too much, because the list I think is scrollable by default. Okay, now we can see something. It doesn't look that great, at least here. And here it's getting padding. I removed the padding here. Anyways, I want to know if the swipe action works. Yes, I can swipe now. And if I press delete but nothing happens, why? Ah, because it's the preview. Let's run the real app. I'm going to fix the paddings and stuff later. Let me first see if I really want to use a list. And if yes, then I'm going to, yeah, try to work things out. Okay, so I can't see any data here, although we do have definitely categories. I can add another one here. Yeah, it's not showing. Why is that? What if instead of doing this, we just provided a text? Would it work then? No, it's still not showing anything. What if we provide frame min height 200? Oh, OCRs. So I don't know how to say that, but welcome to the stream and thank you for following. How are you doing? How's your Friday? Okay, now we can see something. That is really interesting. So I need to provide this kind of frame thing. Let me revert these and get back my data. Until here. Okay, it's just showing the min height that I have. How to get like the native height of a list. Maybe I need to give each element its height. Great, finally I found someone who is streaming SwiftUI. Yeah, I'm streaming SwiftUI. So you're a SwiftUI developer? Are you new to SwiftUI development? Are you an experienced developer? Give me some background there. But I do have here a problem with the sizing, and I believe that I just need to provide for each element here, which is going to render a view, I need to provide a explicit height. So I just removed it. So let me just provide a height here, just to see if that helps. Let's go with 30. I think you could set .infinity for the height for it to try and fill as much space as you need, or you'll need to calculate the height. I think I am not going to calculate the height. I'm not in UIKit. That's what I would do in UIKit. I don't want to do it in SwiftUI. Acts like a scroll view and won't size the content automatically. Really? I mean, I know that works like a scroll view. Okay, that's infinity work. Let me try that out. But I think you mean just the max height, right? Max height. Max height. Let's try that. No, this does not work. This doesn't work either. I think it might resize if the contents have a size. Just height, yeah, it didn't work either. Let me provide the content a size. Frame height. Or did I just try that? Oh, this doesn't work either. That's too bad. Okay, let me Google that. That's an interesting problem. But I'm sure we're not the only ones. Make SwiftUI, make list resize height automatically. I mean, VStack can do that. Even in scroll view, we didn't have any problems. Scroll view did it correctly. We were using scroll view, I think. Resizable list. Oh no, we were not using scroll view. We are in a scroll view already. Yeah. So people are saying I should just use VStack, but I want to use the swipe actions. Maybe I can use swipe actions on VStack as well. Let's read about the documentation. Although this was saying swipe actions. Is this method, or it was in a list view? It might actually be restricted to list. SwiftUI swipe actions VStack. Oh, I like the examples. Albus Dumbledore. Why are people using the coding feature, the code feature from Medium? Because it's not highlighting any syntax. That's why I'm not using that. It's really unreadable. But I will figure it out. So, do they have swipe actions? Yes, they do. Actions. Here we go. Mail cell, and it is in the list. Okay. I guess I need to provide my outer view some height, and then the inner one will be scrollable. So if I say this is the H stack, this doesn't help. but I can say something like my list height is, I don't know, 200, and it will work. It will scroll inside the 200 then. Yeah, that's how it works. Okay, in that case, I want this outer thing to resize to fill the screen. But we are in scroll view already. So we have a scroll view in a scroll view. That's basically our problem. Maybe instead of using scroll view at the top level, we can use a list. But then I should only be able to swipe. And maybe a swipe action will work then. So if I trick it by saying, okay, instead of using scroll view at the top level, which is a scroll view, I use a list here. This might work. Dominic Fullstack, welcome to the stream. Hi. Hi. So I will try the list variant. So this is getting ugly now. We were doing a scroll view for this thing here. Instead, we want to go. Oh, no, this was a VStack, I think. Let's go all the way back. Okay, this was our first try. We did have a scroll view and a VStack. I think we don't need even the scroll view. Let me try running this. I think just the swipe action will not work. Yeah, this is what was looking like before, and obviously the swipe action didn't work. I actually do like how it's rendering when we have a list. So I just prefer this on macOS. So on macOS, maybe we should keep it that way. This should be the rendering for macOS. For iOS, we might want to use a list, but then maybe we should do the navigation differently. So instead of using a disclosure group here, maybe we should just actually use a navigation view. And when we go inside of here, we're going to use a list here. And then use the full screen height. Okay, but I will try doing with list anyways. So let me just go with list here. And then we no longer need the VStack. Instead, this is our elements, and I think we don't need the padding either. Let's comment these out, maybe we will get them back. So Dominic, how are you doing? How's your Friday going? Okay, this is the list. Let's see what this looks like first. Okay, we can't see the list, and also let's just use the previews here. Let's go settings, categories. This is much faster to see the changes. Okay, this does show something, but that's because probably the whole view here in our preview, this is probably using the whole space, and that might actually be the issue. So I'm going to try to use it also where we are showing that. So we're showing it here, and okay, we're inside a scroll view. Maybe we don't need that anymore. Instead, we could just use a VStack. like before. And let's go to settings, so we can see the preview here on this level. Okay, the V-stack brings things down. We could just say this view here gets frame height, max height, infinity. It's not using the space for the list though. Let's use the same thing for the list. So we're going into here. And the list also gets a max height of infinity. Let's pin this preview, because this is the real one I want to know about. Yeah, that's not working as expected. If I set a specific height, might work. Could try a space at the end of the V-stack too, instead of setting the height. I just deleted that. I just had one here, right? No, I didn't. You mean like this? Oh, this is really not fun. Okay. So we have the list. It's not showing because we don't have a height set. Let's set a height here. And why are these never building? Okay, this is not building actually. But why not? Come on. Tell me why. Don't just fail. Okay. Let's just run the app. Go, 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 you can do it. So if we set a specific height, it works. We might actually need to calculate the height. I don't like this. But why does the delete action not work? So imagine we have solved that. Let's see why this doesn't work. So we're sending delete category button press. And we have the confirmation dialog here on top of that. That's probably the problem because we have it in the swipe actions. And if we put it on the bottom level, I think we have higher chances that this works. There we go. delete it, but yeah, something went wrong. Identifiable by name. Make sure this is a proper identifier. Yeah, this is definitely something we need to fix, but that's another problem. We're not going to get distracted by that now. It did delete it though. So it kind of works. Cancel. But this can't stay. Okay, how can we fix that? So this seems to have to be on the top level. If we integrate like a list inside of something else, seems to not be the best idea. So we might want to actually show this list at the top level. So if I click this and I go to a new screen and I just show the list inside of these, then it might actually work. So we might want to change our navigation so we can use list. Okay. Then let's do that. That's a huge change. I think we should have native controls like swipe to delete. We could probably implement, if we did it with a VStack like we did before, we could probably implement a long press and then delete somehow like that. But I'm not sure if that's better in any way. I'm undecided here, so do you have any ideas? Should we stick with this disclosure group kind of UI, or should we go to a navigation view UI where we have to navigate inside and then yeah, we just see the general settings in there. We don't see them here. That's what the settings app is also doing. That's why probably SwiftUI works better that way. But we could go with the long press if we just stick with our own, and that's already kind of implemented. So I might just be able to go back to, I think we had a VStack here, was it, or a scroll view? So we have a VStack, just remove the entire thing. What does this look like? Ah, okay. Long press I don't think is an intuitive, as intuitive. The extra push to a settings view wouldn't be so bad. Yeah, the problem with the extra push is that if you just go into settings and then you just see 2 entries, there are just 2 entries right now, and there might be 3 over time. It's not really looking good, and then just for 2 or 3 entries, it's making it less explorable because you have to press another button, and most people are not going to press through every setting that they have here. I find this to be relatively explorable because there won't be that many options, at least for now, and also there won't be so many categories for most people. And I think the long press, also just to state that, is going to be the secondary, a second way to do it. I am going to provide a delete button right here, so you can just press this and press delete. So I'm going to add a delete button here. So I don't think it's a huge problem. I just want to provide something where you don't have to go into here, and I want to provide swipe to action. But then I have to I can't use a disclosure group basically because I have to provide a set size for the list, and I don't really like that. At the same time, we could restrict the height of this whole thing, but the list also just looks ugly if you put it into something. So if I go back to this code with the list, the question is, can I get rid of that gray background, of this grayish background? Is there like a list style or something? List style? Yeah, there is. What options do we have? Is there a plain style? this style. Let's try. Oh, there it seems to be. But is this already the... oh. And it does happen. Okay, we're sticking with this. I just need to fix some issues here. So we're going to just provide a fixed height, and then the user has to scroll. And we had the scroll view at the outer front here, so let me go back to the settings view. So I think this had been a scroll view. Tab view, scroll view. Let's go back to having this scroll view. Let's see if that works. If I have like a list in a scroll view. This scrolls. Oops. And this scrolls. So this does work too. A scroll view in a scroll view. It does scroll as expected. Then I guess we can do this, and I would just set a fixed height here, and I would just use something that works for most people. So most will have, so in my case I have actually just 3 task types, although task types might actually grow. No, they don't grow that much. And projects, they might grow. Yeah, I'm just going to make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. That's not that bad actually. 4.5 maybe isn't that bad of how many we show. There is this left padding that I want to somehow get rid of. But otherwise, I'm liking this now as like the I don't know, the middle ground. Because I think swipe action is actually going to be more common, more known to people. Okay, let's get this. Let me remove all paddings. Do we have a padding somewhere here? No, doesn't look like. Just search for padding here. Just the preview gets a padding, which is fine. And the preview also, let me see if the preview works. Settings, categories. The preview doesn't want to compile, why that? Okay, quick break. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Be right back. Okay, so let's fix this padding here. Maybe let's retry the preview. No, it doesn't want to do. Anyways, so for each view, this is the swipe action, and let's ensure the swipe action is working. We have a crash here. So why is this crashing actually? Identifiable. So the category is still being shown, I think, because it's trying to show them, call the name. And it shouldn't, because it should be deleted by then. And so I guess that just refreshing this somehow doesn't work. Do we have any on change off? Okay. Anyways, we're going to figure that out later. Let's just write it down. Fix issue with deleting category crashing app due to improper refresh. Could also just fix it by just saying here that we're returning something like this. Let's try that out. Let's see if that fixes it. still we need to make sure that we refresh. I gotta run and get going on my own work. Have a great rest of the stream. Yeah, thank you for stepping by. I wish you the best work. I mean, you shouldn't work too much. It's Friday and you should finish your work off and also chill a bit on the weekend. But of course you want to earn the weekend. So yeah, do your best and I wish you all the best. I hope it will be successful working hours. We were not as successful here, but we still made progress. So let's see what happens now. If we delete. Okay, now it's crashing elsewhere because we're expecting. Okay, let's also go here with just, I don't know, CC, some grayish color. Now we're crashing with the icon symbol name. Let's go with person, rectangle, rectangle. Let's go with circle. Thanks, cheers. Cheers, you mean? Cheers. We're forced on wrapping everywhere, basically. But this is not the root cause. I'm not going to fix it that way. No. I'll revert the wrong things. I think it's better to crash, actually. For now. Instead of having wrong data and not noticing it. Cool. So let's skip the crash. We did document it, right? Yeah. Make edit trash icons larger. That was the actual thing we wanted to do, is make the icons larger, and instead we are refactoring entirely how our view is structured, because then we have like a swipe to action, a swipe to delete, I mean, and when we click on it, we're going to have basically the edit view. I think it's intuitive enough. Just like people will try out, I guess, clicking on this. Although I'm not entirely sure, maybe we need to indicate that this is clickable. Maybe we should add like an icon on the right that makes it clear. Show edit icon. So the entry is this here, and then we have a spacer, and then on macOS we have the buttons, and on iOS we could just show image with system symbol pencil, but foreground color set to secondary. Should not be like too much show. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, kinda works, but I don't like the icon. Maybe we should get the circled one. Still not 100% happy. How about Canadian? I could just provide an info button, but yeah, probably not. We could use some kind of arrow or finger, hand. Pen on tab of fill. What will this look like? And tab fill. Yeah, that's a bit too much, right? But interesting to know that there is a button like that. I just want to indicate that you can click that. Icon indicating clickability. Okay, here we have some. But I think edit is really what we want. Edit icon. Is there anything else but the pencil? Different pencils. Pencils and pencils. Is there like a change icon? Not really what we want to. So maybe we want to stick with some kind of pencil. Have the pencil, the circle. Maybe we're just gonna go with this one. I think this is kind of speaking and saying you can edit this. Yeah. I think I'm happy with this now. I think we can stick with that. Now let's fix the leading thing here. So I'm wondering if this is part of the list itself. And let's figure it out by saying list, style, item tint, row insets. This sounds like it. Can I just provide an empty array? Oh, I need to provide edge insets, okay. Maybe I can just provide nil, because it said it's an optional. Nope, it does not work. Okay, let's create a row inset. Edge inset. Top 0, 0, 0, 0. So what this looks like. Still not working. We could use a minus here for leading, like a minus 15. Maybe try something like bigger than. Ah, you mean like an arrow? If I put an arrow here, I think users are going to expect that this navigates into another screen, which is on the right. So it is expecting to navigate to the right, basically. And that's what I didn't want. And we are showing a modal instead, a sheet. And if there is an icon for a sheet, I would use that. But the right arrow, I think, is clearly meaning, okay, this is a navigation view. You click that, you go to the next screen on the right. And I don't want to indicate that you can go to the right and then you click it and then you have like a sheet from the bottom. But that's a good point. Like if I had a navigation view, I would have it automatically. Like the system would add it for me. But good point. UCRs. Yeah, welcome to the stream as well. How are you doing? Oh yeah, we just added minus 15 and it does not change anything actually. So let me change the background of the list. I wonder where the list starts and ends. Let's just make a red background. Okay, so this doesn't even accept background. Let's try overlay. Okay, so the list is from full left to the full right. So it is part of the list, that indentation that we have there. So I want to remove it, and let's quickly Google that. I think there's going to be someone who's asked that question. SwiftUI list remove padding. Bleeding padding. This is exactly what I want. List text, list row insets. I need to use it inside of the list. That's interesting. So what I have been trying here, this thing here, I need to move that, I guess, to, let's just add it to the for each. Let's try it now. Oh yeah, this changes things. Yeah, this has made it a -15, and we just want to have 0. I'm actually going to try nil first, because if nil works, then that's the least code we need to write. No, this does not work, so we have to override it. Also, I think I placed it not on the for each. Or did I? Yeah, this is on the for each. Okay. I mismatched this. This is now using, but the separator is now. Okay, can I also edit the separator? List separator. List inset, separator inset, inset. Maybe I have to do that here. List separator. I can't see that. So what they're doing is list row insets, okay. Remove leading padding. Oh, I can use an empty in it. What about the separators? SwiftUI separator inset. SwiftUI list separator list row separators. Change the tint, can hide it. That's it. Okay, so I can't remove the inset. But this inset isn't the worst thing I could imagine. We can live with that, I guess. Although it's quite ugly. Maybe we should just remove that. Let me just hide the separator. List separator. What was the name for that? List row separator tint and list row separator, just list row separator and then hidden. Instead, I could add my own if I need to. I think that's fine. Okay, maybe the icon should have some padding. This is looking weird. And actually, this whole thing has a padding. Yeah, icon should have some padding. Not too much, but a little bit. That's the image. And this is also a decorative image, so I might want to just say accessibility hidden, true. We don't really need that. And we're adding a padding of, and it's only horizontal, 5 maybe. Yeah, this is okay. So this and that are not really looking aligned because the sizes are different. What if I change dynamic type? Let me see what happens here. The preview isn't working. Let me try again. Settings, categories. Maybe I'm lucky now. No, I'm not. Let me build first. Build failed. Please tell me why it's failing. Because it's available on macOS. This is not iOS. It is iOS only. No, it's not. This whole thing. Actually, how does this look on macOS? Let me move this first to the button. Now let me see what this looks on macOS right after going for the preview. And we should see it in the preview too, if it works, but it doesn't. Okay, let me see how this looks on macOS. So list. Okay, let's go to the settings. Categories. Oh, this is really clamped. The size of this does work for here, but this is really clamped too much. I need to give it maybe some explicit height. Does that work? Can I just say like here, give it a height of, I think we had 17 before, and same. Category view, I'm just going to give this a height of 44. Oh, it doesn't look like it's enough. Let's go with 32. Is this even the right thing? I think so. Okay, this is better. And I think we had 17 somewhere. Yeah, here we go. So 17 is the height of this green thing. But the whole thing should have a higher height. Yeah, makes sense. I wonder if the alignment of the V stack. Where is it? Where is this? Entry, I think it's should be this here around a rectangle. There we go. It's an H stack and alignment top. Yeah, let's make the center. That's what was bugging me. Still, this doesn't look aligned. Ah, yeah, we ran the macOS app. Okay, so this is looking better now. These are now properly aligned. And this whole thing is 44. Oh, maybe we should add also some padding to the left. So maybe the whole thing should have a padding instead of adding padding for the single things here. We want to have a padding on iOS for this whole thing. How can we add it only on iOS? By just adding it here. Padding, horizontal 5. The delete action should actually be tinted, not only tinted red. It's the swipe action. We want this one to be red, foreground color red. Can I say that this is a destructive button? Confirmation by dialog? I don't think so. And this also doesn't work. How can I tell it this is a destructive button? Button. We have this roll thing. Button roll dot destructive. There we go. This is what I wanted. Now we have the action. Okay, we need to use a different one. So, or is there also an overload with roll at the beginning? Action label roll. Roll action label. No, this even doesn't work. So action label roll. The button action is going to be still like this. Alo enişte, Selim'den selam. Aleykümselam. Selim, nasılsın? Ne haber? Alo. Alo. Okay. We're continuing here. Yeah, let me just move this down. And we can actually say roll here, destructive, and the label last, which is in our case this text. I hope this is the wrong order. Builds, nice. Now this is red. That's what we wanted. Great. What did we change? Oh, we changed so much here. Let's have a look at the macOS app if it's still building. Maybe it doesn't support destructive. But it does. And we have the categories here. We have the delete action, delete button. By the way, this also doesn't work, so I thought it's an iOS issue, but it's also crashing on macOS. Anyways, let's continue getting things working on iOS. So this is kind of working. I think it's indicating to user, maybe we should make the padding a bit more. That's like 5 is maybe not enough. Let's just go with 10. Also, we might change the height here a bit. Let's make it 250. Kinda want to make this getting cut somewhere, so maybe just slightly less. If it's cut in the middle, for like the default size at least, it will be clear that this is scrollable because it's cut. And that's exactly what's happening, but maybe we can make it a little bit more visible. Here we go. Okay. Same for projects. I can click them. Now we want to add a delete button in the detail here. That's what we're going to do next, but I'll be back in a minute. Stay right there. I'll be right back. And here I am. Let's get to our last 15 minutes. So, oh, a milk tank. Let me catch that. Do I have enough Pokeballs? Nope. Let me buy new ones. So I need a great ball. Few of them. Nice. Oh, the Pokemon already escaped. Okay. Let's do this last step and add the delete button here. This is cancel save, and then I want to add another delete button. And the question is, do we want to have that also on the Mac app? That's like a good question. Let me see what this might look like. Let's just run the Mac app. So when we go to edit here, this appears, and then we have cancel save. I think adding a delete button here doesn't make any sense because you have it here already. There's like no swipe action, you already have it here. So I will just add it here for iOS only. Great, in that case, let's go to the edit screen. Edit category view, I guess this is that. But before we get into that, let's actually commit our changes so far, because they are commit worthy. And the question is, do we need this change actually? Settings, disclosure group, let me get rid of that. I don't think we need that. I think this is the default anyways. Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Let's continue. Yeah, this works as expected. Instead, I will go here and check everything else. This is looking like the changes we want to have. So yeah, this is basically make settings category. What was the problem that we're trying to solve? Was make edit trash icons larger. Yeah. Adjust interaction with categories for iOS due to small buttons. There we go. Now let's get into the category view. Edit category view. Edit category module. And how to shortcut for this again? I forgot. Now let's refresh the preview. And let's select macOS here first. Build is succeeding, but preview is not. Let me restart Xcode actually. That might help. What's going on? Oh. I was still pinning this. Maybe that was the reason why all the previews didn't work. Sad to notice it so late. Yeah, looks like that was the issue. Ah, life can be funny sometimes. So we already have code for iOS to show the buttons below each other, which is interesting. So it's these buttons, cancel and save. And I basically want to add another here, which I'm going to put into its own section. So let's just do it like this. If OS iOS section button, let's translate it. Now we're going to call it delete. Which is reusable, so I'm going to put it into global action. Instead of the screen specifically, just call it delete. And that's the name. And basically what we're going to do is when we fire this, we gotta fire the action delete button pressed, which we don't have right now. And let's run body crouch. Oops. And SwiftGen to update things. And that's basically it. That should already show this thing here. Let's update the preview. Why is not building? Build failed. Oh yeah, our user is not handling the delete action yet. And let's actually have a look how we implemented this, where we already have the delete button, which is in the we had the confirmation dialog. Delete confirmation dialog. This is the one. This is the other. In both cases, we're basically saying this button is sending a delete category button pressed. And this action defined here in the reducer, this is the confirmed, I don't mean the confirmed, delete category button press, this one. This makes sure to show the confirmation dialog. And then awaiting the confirmation. We might actually be able to reuse that. So let me try to just say here, we're going to ignore it. Just going to say delete button pressed, return none, handled by parent, reducer. I don't like the here. And then here in the parent reducer, which is here, because we have in the second categories, we have the state of edit category. We can simply say when edit category delete button pressed is clicked. We do the same as when delete category button pressed is clicked. Exactly the same. And actually we can document this by just calling it to delete category button pressed. We need to provide a category, so we need to know which category this is of. So let's see if we have that. Edit category, state.category. Don't we have that? Group existing category. Yeah, it must be an existing category there. And I might not have access to this because it's not public. Let's make it public. And now, this also won't be, yeah, this won't be non-nil at all times. This is nillable. This is also nillable. But if we get the delete button pressed, it should not be nil. And we should make sure that this is the case. So let's go to delete button. Let's just show this if it's not nil. So if view store, or we should actually maybe just pass the category here. Yeah, that's probably safer. So we're going to say if let category equals to view store dot existing category. So we no longer have to make this public. Let me revert that. And if this is the case, then we're going to show the section, and the action we're going to pass the category. Oh, not that category. Oh, Pilkey CRC just rated with 8 viewers. Welcome, welcome, you're very welcome. But I'm actually also closing down right now, so just 3 minutes left. But maybe we can extend it a little bit. So, how was your stream? How were you doing? Hello, everybody. How's all your Fridays? How are you all doing? So, I'm currently adding. So, just to show that quickly, we have been working on getting our macOS optimized application working on iOS 2. And last week, we had already implemented this bottom tab view, because on Mac we have windows for each of these tabs. So this is a separate window, this is a separate window, and this one. And now we have changed also a tab bar. So on macOS app, we have a tab bar here. Let me quickly show you that. Snowtwig, welcome. How are you doing? Raid, yeah. How's everybody doing? How was the stream? Hey, Sinister Something, welcome. How are you doing? How is everybody doing? So I'm just trying to summarize what we did. So here, let me run the macOS application, and it's not running right now because we're in the middle of something. Okay, I'm not going to show you that, but basically we are working on this view, and we have implemented a clickable swipe action here. And now this delete action, I want to also add explicitly as a delete button here. And that's what I'm currently working on. It was good, started off with some Mac app coding, then the brain fog set in, and I switched to learning some more 3D modeling in Blender. Wow, that's interesting. 3D modeling. So what are you modeling? Are you modeling like something like a movie? Are you modeling just objects that you might be reusing on iOS? Like with UI ZD, or I don't remember the file name. It's okay, Snowtwig. How was all your Fridays? Are you looking forward to the weekend? I'm having a little bit of runny nose due to the pollen season. It's really, really bad here where I live. But yeah, we just added the category here because we were force unwrapping stuff and we don't want to do this. So let's do that way. So I'm using the Composable Architecture for everyone who is wondering what these types are all. Just objects for now. They'll be for use in Unity stuff for my stream. Ah, I see. Okay, so you're really getting your stream into a more pro level. That's interesting. So what are you planning to do with them? So are you planning to like develop a game with Unity? Is that what you're planning to do? That's why you need it? And you're designing like characters? I haven't done 3D stuff in a long time, so it's slowly getting back into the practice. I see, so you have been in 3D before. I was actually into video editing before, but didn't have the chance to really do much there. Okay, so now we can call here delete button press and pass it the category, which we have now safely unwrapped with an if-let. And let's also indent this. And last but not least, we have to go, and this should not build. Let's jump to the place, yeah, here. Now we can get the delete button press and the category, which is great, because we no longer have to force unwrap anything. Instead, we can just pass the category. And this might actually do something nice. Let's skip that. Okay, let's actually see what this works like now. If it builds even, and it of course it doesn't. Effectively, yeah, I stream as a VTuber, but it's just a PNG at the moment. The aim is to build a sort of game environment for my character to run around in 3D. Okay, so it is something like a game, definitely. And VTuber, I see, yeah, you're right. That's also what your icon is about, right? VTuber is also, I think, something relatively new. And why can I not see what's failing? Oh yeah, I was trying to run on my Mac. Of course, I have to run on the simulator.
I guess I'll have future pants. They're pants we're going to wear tomorrow. And the next day.
Do you have something to show off? Do you have like an image or something like that that you can link to? So I can have a look at it? Okay, so now we should be able to see the delete button. Oh, I should also make it red, so let's fix that quickly. So this button has the role. Where can I put the role? Button, role, action label. The role is destructive. The action is this thing here. And the label is just a text view. Let's rerun this. Yeah, I think it's been around for a while, but it's got a lot more popular recently, especially with the iPhone for face tracking. Oh, so the iPhone has like a specific feature that is useful to VTubers. Are you using like an emoji or something? Have you considered that? Okay, now this is red, and now when we click this, nothing is happening. But I think actually something should be happening. So, oh no, or did we forget to connect things together? So trading space, yeah, let's remove these. So why is nothing happening? Set category is presented, false. Delete category button pressed. Then a category is passed. So it did see that, but it didn't act on it. So maybe we should debug this. This is settings. So we're getting into this part here and we're redirecting it to here. And then it should actually cause the confirmation dialog to open up. But before we do that, we have to first make this view disappear. Okay, maybe this is getting too complicated. Maybe we should just continue here without the upper layer and just handle everything inside the settings and the category itself. So currently we're ignoring this, and instead of ignoring this, we should actually act on it. So we can also get rid of the category here. Although we can keep it. I think that's still making things safer. And we just write here, let's put it as a to-do. Continue here by adding a confirmation dialog plus delete and dismiss view logic for when delete is confirmed. That's basically where we want to continue. Let's also write that down in our document. So we were working on making the edit and trash icons larger, and I think we solved that very nicely by just changing the entire navigation. And this is basically what we want to do next. Add a confirmation dialog plus delete and dismiss confirmed. We still have replace create new category button with a plus icon on top bar. So that's something we can do, which is this create new category button. It's not that bad actually, I think, but still we could maybe place it elsewhere to make it more iOS-y. And we want to fix the delete category crashing app issue as well. So that's where we're going to continue next. I think there's software that uses forwards data from the Face ID cameras to a PC or Mac to use for face tracking. I don't use it myself though. So is there access to that data? Is there like Face ID data? This is a screenshot of where I was working, what I was building on stream. I'm building a lamp to practice lighting, shading, and animating. Let me have a look. Ah, yeah. Immediately reminds me of Pixar. Probably you know their animation that they became famous with, I think. That's cool. Still something missing here. I think it's going to fall right now, but yeah, I'm sure you're aware of that. It's looking cool. Yeah, good luck with that, and looks like a fun project for sure. So I'm going to close up my stream now because I am typically ending my stream by now, and I've tried to extend it a little bit. But yeah, to the end, just a few shoutouts. So first, reminder that I am writing blog articles regularly here on Medium, so make sure to follow me there and check out my posts. I have written on several topics in the past. For example, hardware requirements, because people were asking like which Mac should I get to do iOS development. I'm also writing the Swift Evolution Monthly, and I'm currently writing the May issue, and it's 95% complete, so I will be releasing it probably tonight or tomorrow. So if you don't know about that, you can also follow it as a newsletter. It's semonthly.flydev.com. So feel free to check this newsletter out. It's basically a summary of what's coming next in Swift. If you want to follow that, let me also add that link. And I am also working on other topics, so you can see like I am working on an article on what makes code more readable, or 10 useful custom lint rules, things like that. And error handling is a big topic that I'm going to write about, so always writing, and I try to get one article out every week or every 2 weeks. Yeah, just check that out. Also, if you're not following me on Twitter, I'm also always posting new stuff that I'm learning here, and also reminding of my streams. Sometimes asking for a survey, asking for some things, or I was writing about error handling, for example, a few days ago, like you can see here, which is also something you might want to check out. And last but not least, on YouTube, I have a YouTube channel too, where I'm currently reposting these streams. I am planning to make shorter clips as well that are more useful, where I put together from different streams on specific topics, like for example when I set up my project, a video on project setup, or when I set up a linter that I have something on this, or when somebody asks me something in the chat and I give my opinion or give some tips, then maybe I can make a clip of that. I'm planning to do more of that, and I'm also working on a full iOS or development starters, like 0 to 100 or something like that kind of course as well. But that's a larger project that I'm working on, so there's no timeline there, but I'm working on that as well. I'm planning to release that also this year, or start it. And it's all going to happen on this channel. So if you want to follow, let me also post that. That would be really amazing, because what really bugs me actually is the current URL. You can see the name of the channel is something like UCTG, etc. And I can only change this once I reach 100 subscribers. So you would really help me a lot if you just subscribe. But of course, only if you're interested in the content. And that's that for this stream. So we did make quite a bit of progress. And I already talked about the different things we have improved. And now I'm going to quickly check if there's anybody we can rate here again that is also developing. And I don't see anybody online, actually. Let me double check. Oh, Aflux is online. Okay, so we're going to be rating Aflux in a minute. Oops, I clipped something right now, I misclicked. So everybody who's watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, and everyone else in the stream. So I'm going to rate, and I wish you all a nice weekend. I hope you had a nice stream. Also the ones joined from the other streams. Thank you for joining in, and have a nice weekend. We'll see each other in the next stream. See ya. Bye.